everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Indie Book Review. I'm Quinn Buckland, and today I am reviewing The Last Letter by W.B. Welch and Tory Hunter. This is a really short zombie book. It took me maybe a couple hours to get through it. It really wasn't much. It's not a big book. So yeah, let's get into this. So, starting off the plot, it is a fairly run-of-the-mill zombie story. But it does something really interesting. It's letters back and forth between two houses. And at first, this one guy's taking the letters between the two of them while he drops off supplies, and then eventually they use a drone to move back and forth. And honestly, for the most part, the plot is fine. Full disclosure, I'm not a zombie person. I really just am not a fan of the zombie genre. I find that there's just really nothing new to put into it. They've done everything that they can possibly do with zombie hordes and zombies in general. I'm sorry, there's just... I am gonna give the plot a 4 out of 5. It doesn't bring us a lot that's new, or... the only thing that I really saw was it actually mentioned and got into how zombies actually do rot. They actually do rot away, and eventually their muscles just stop working and they can't move or do stuff. It did actually get into that. But other than that, it's really just a fairly run-of-the-mill zombie story. It's enjoyable, but it's still just a zombie story. So, yeah, 4 out of 5. That's really the best I can give it. The characters were fine. I honestly had nothing against them. Morgan was definitely the more interesting one. The other one, her name starts with an L, I can't remember it. I think that alone says how much of an impact that character even makes as a character. They were fine. There's really nothing to say about them. They're nothing really particularly interesting, but they're also not dull by any means. They definitely keep you interested all through the story. There's just nothing much there to stay interested in. I'm not making much sense with this. The characters do a decent enough job of keeping a person interested throughout the story, and you stay emotionally invested in what they're going through well enough throughout the zombie story. That's really what it comes down to. They're not incredible characters. They're not particularly interesting, other than to say that they are survivors of a zombie apocalypse. But that's really all you need with a zombie story. So characters, it's another 4 out of 5. There's nothing wrong with them, but there's just nothing interesting there. The writing. The first 3/4 of this book, maybe even a little more, this was definitely going to get a 5 out of 5. It was so well written. Even for a zombie story with characters that were just really good, the writing was incredible. But then it did that stupid thing with letters and journals that I just hate. I can't even express how much I hate the eidetic memory style journaling and letter writing. Don't give me dialogue in that, because people don't write like that. And in a lot of the ways, people don't write how they wrote in their letters too. But I was willing to kind of forgive some of that for the sake of story. Dialogue irritates me when it comes to that. It really does. And because the wording was really just that good throughout, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, but it irks me to give that much for a book that was so close but just had to do the eidetic memory thing. It is a 4 out of 5 though. So, imagination and research. It's a zombie story. Like I said before, it doesn't really bring anything particularly new, but at the same time, there was some research that went into this. There was some actual care and knowledge that went into this sort of thing, and there was at least some imagination, and I really can't express enough how happy I am that they at least got into the sake that zombies decompose over time. Oh, it's a part of the reason why zombie movies piss me off as much as they do, because they never bring that up. It's kind of like zombies just rot to a certain extent and then they just stay in a perpetual stasis. That frustrates me to no end. It kind of killed a lot of zombie films for me because of that. Because, hey, this zombie movie takes place 3 years into the future. Why are there so many zombies? They should all have at least decomposed and rotted away by now, or at the very least or at least have their muscles rotted away to the point where they can't move. And I guess I will give at least a little bit to the end as well. I'm not going to get into the ending just quite yet, but yeah. Imagination Research, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It didn't bring anything particularly new, except for maybe the rotting thing, but even then I'm sure some stories have done that. Yeah, it's still going to get a 4 out of 5. And finally, the ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but it actually does manage to capture some actually decent emotion to it. And it's actually probably one of the better parts of the book. It is probably one of the best parts of the book is the ending itself. Because, while it definitely doesn't go into anything particularly uncharted, the way that it's written and the way that it's done, I genuinely enjoyed. It was probably my best part, or my favorite part of the book itself, and honestly, that's kind of what people want when it comes to an ending, is you want that ending to really hit. You want that ending to really resonate. I had originally written this to be a 4 out of 5, but to be perfectly honest, I do have to give the ending a 5 out of 5. Like, it did actually resonate with me. It actually did stick with me. Despite not doing anything particularly new, the emotion that went behind it actually did a really, really good job. So the ending does get a 5 out of 5. So all in all, I do give The Last Letter an 8 out of 10. It was an enjoyable book. Not pushing any boundaries by any means, and it's a zombie story. How many boundaries are there really to push? I mean, I'm pretty sure everything that can be done with a zombie has been done at length to the point of it being tired. I've enjoyed W.B. Welch's work in the past, and this one is really no different. It's a zombie book. I tried to be as unbiased as I possibly can with it, but I did what I could. It is a solid 8 out of 10. So, I mean, that's not too bad, I guess. But that's all I got for you guys. Have a good one.